Interesting. Skip that. All good. So, still learning. Again, fresh data, didn't make any saves, blah blah blah, no gallery, no nothing. Yeah, so anyways, let's try this again. Alright, so in 3, 2, 1, start. There we go. Timer's working, all is well. Let's do a naughty speedrun. So it's definitely not going to take me as long as my current times are listed. Again, I wasn't skipping any cutscenes, but this time around I will be. I just wanted to get a good estimate for the submission that I did make. So anyways, we're doing a bit of a tutorial section. Oh shit, I didn't set my settings. That's funny. This is gonna suck. I will just take the time loss and set my settings. Other than that, that's fine. I'll just take the time penalty. I don't really care too much.
What are you mumbling about now?
I should have did that first thing. I forgot that it doesn't save my settings when I delete the save data. Of course it wouldn't. So I gotta remember to set all my settings every single time that I boot up for a run. Or at least for a new game. If this is New Game Plus, I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Let's take him down. No, not sucking too.
So not having to hold the lock is really, really important. The other thing I can't do is I can't infinitely charge my boomerang because it's not New Game Plus, which kind of sucks because you can abuse that a lot. But there is some stuff that I can do still, which is nice. But we're just kind of waiting for time. This is a timed intro here for a little bit, warm up and practice. So I'll explain stuff as I go for anybody that's not familiar with the tech and movement and stuff for this game. So a lot of the characters have different dodging mechanics and whatnot, and sub-weapons and main attacks. Explain that as I go. This game is pretty fast. I mean, it is a pretty long run still, but I mean, not nearly as long as my near runs, which are the longest. New game near run is about 4 hours for me right now. This run's only about an hour and 7 minutes on New Game Plus. So it's going to be roughly, I mean, a little bit more than that on New Game. Yeah, we're gonna end up getting a whole bunch of yellows because I'm skipping cutscenes and stuff. So, I mean, just wanted to get an estimate anyways, so. Also not tracking the variable again, so I have to reset that up. I don't know why it's not doing that. It must be something to do with the layout that I didn't save. Alright, so we're gonna switch to our other two characters now that we got them. And just beat the fuck out of everything. So this is a sequel to a game that was originally on the Xbox, and then it was ported to, well, somewhat ported to the Wii at some point later on, with like the Wii motion controls.
I'm just leaving your ass behind. Shut your mouth. Still, auto regeneration. Quite the useful body you've got. I'm better off without it, though. You just make me reckless. You're just jealous because I got the goods.
So my controller's talking to me. I turned the volume down. I should probably turn that back up. It's just really spooky sometimes when it happens. Oh, and I'm going the wrong way.
We're not the
That's
ones
great.
trapped in here. They are.
Even with these mistakes, still gonna save quite a bit of time off the actual splits. Again, this is mostly just me trying to route this category. Because I haven't really done the routing for this, because New Game Plus is just way more fun and faster.
Been a long time since I got to let loose like this.
So one thing I'm going to try to do is remember to wipe off the blood off my weapons, because if I don't, my weapons do less and less damage each time.
You sure we're going the right way?
Oh. So now I'm great blood raging, which is nice, but it slows me down because I don't have the actual ability to transform yet. But we'll get that for one of our characters very, very soon, which is pretty useful. It is pretty damn useful. But we have this character with the transformation, which is great. We got a cutscene, which is nice, and now we just got to land and hopefully it initiates this fight, which it did, so it's perfect.
If they dig even deeper, it could be a problem. We gotta do something before they get the chance.
We gotta kill a bunch of these moles, and then it'll start a cutscene sequence. Hopefully. Sometimes it soft locks a little for a little bit, or hangs. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't go right away, and it usually takes a while, because I have no idea how many of these moles I have to kill. And I'm not sure if it's a time-based trigger or something for the section. It's just kind of random. Sometimes it goes really quick, sometimes it just feels like you're killing moles for what seems like ever. But I could be wrong. And maybe it's not that case. But I swear it feels like I'm killing moles for a lot longer than I should be. Alright, so we get a cutscene, and then we get transformation unlocked for one of our main characters. So we're just kind of waiting for a meter to build up right now. It's for a special, and we're gonna target aim like this and just use target aiming so that we can just kind of quickly kill everything. And we skipped one fight, which is nice. So I'm silver, not too bad. Onwards we go. Well, this game is got a little bit of fan service in it. I think it's a pretty serious game as far as like how it feels and how it plays. Much better than the original game, like the previous game on the 360, which is very heavy on the crash prone. Like it's crash prone for everything. It could crash in the loading screen, which is technically a mini game that causes lag, which is fucking weird. And then the game itself lags like a shit ton. It's like terrible. But I mean, at least we're not playing the earlier versions of it. I mean, so that's kind of nice. So now we're playing the two younger sisters. This initial part's a little bit of a... we just gotta wait for the gates to drop in this conversation to finish. So Anna's talking to me again. Now we have to kill all these guys. So there's a certain amount of guys here that we have to kill. And you want to kill the Gatling gun guys as a priority, only because they will shoot you around and knock you up and stuff like that, so they're not fun. But we also got to kill all of these other guys, and we don't have any boosts or anything like that right now. Alright, now the Gatling gun guys are spawning off for the second wave. Now, there's a reason why I play certain characters for certain parts, and as I can see, the Gatling gun guys are already shooting me. That's wonderful. So one of the interesting movement abilities that you have early on is the ability to like air dash, which by holding the jump button down while you're aimed or just aimed in a direction, you can be target locked or not, you can do like a dash and it pulls enemies with you. It can knock them flying, so it's kind of bad to do it in most cases unless you're going towards a target and you're immediately trying to hit them, which keeps them within range, hopefully. Again, it's a bit tricky because there's a lot of cases where I'll do it and then it just sends enemies flying away from me and I have to track them down to kill them. Because there's a lot of sections where you have to kill every enemy in order to advance the fight if you get locked into an arena. And I do end up skipping a couple arenas throughout the run, and then one major section of a lot of them. But that's not till near the very end of the run. So anyways, this section is a bit of a multi-step. So we're going to end up going down here, killing more guys. Again, with this character specifically right now. Just because it's easier. She deals a lot more damage and she's a lot faster with the attacks early on. My other character is Chainsaw and it's pretty slow to use, but we'll be using other characters later. Anyways, I kind of hate the transformation thing on New Game because I don't have any control over that now. New Game Plus, that doesn't happen. They just build the full bar and then I can immediately just transform whenever I want, and I can just not use the damage increase that it gives me, but because I don't have that ability, it just automatically does it. So there's nothing I can do about it. But it is kind of nice because it makes killing these guys really easy, because I generally can just one-shot or two-shot most of these guys. But yeah, they pretty much melt. That guy's shield's kind of annoying. There we go. The one thing to keep in mind when you're in Berserk right now is my health drains. So that's kind of a drawback to it. So while in Berserk, my health's draining. So anyways, we're going to switch to the other character, and we're going to swing this mace around and get all these Medusa heads following us. They like to attack you from behind, so if I show my back to them while I'm moving, and they generally like to attack me that way, so we're going to do that and go over to all of these and just keep spinning this around. It's like the quickest way to kill all these things because they run away from you a lot. Super annoying to chase them all down, so we just spin the mace for a bit.
Wow, this is great.
Anyways, this is the way out. Alright, so now we're out of there. So we got 3 chapters down and, you know, another 13 to go. Not all the chapters are super long either. These can go by pretty quick, but there is a couple really long chapters. Not looking forward to chapter 11. Sorry, is that 11? I think it's 11. I don't know. Whatever chapter has the tower with the elevators. I really don't like elevator boss. That chapter is probably the longest, and I really do hate it. So anyways, so now we get locked into this fight. Could make it worse by traveling down that alleyway there, but we're not going to. We're just going to quickly clean up these werewolves, and then there's going to be a bunch of guys spawning over here. So that's where we come into this. So I switched characters there to, you know, get access to the fact that she has abilities right off the bat that we could be using. So it's nice that some of the characters have multiple specials unlocked. It's not nice that some of the other characters don't, and I don't have any weapon upgrades or anything yet. But we'll get those later. Anyways, we're waiting for the dialogue to finish so we can fight a mini-boss. And that's all we need to fight here to advance. So we're gonna fight this ogre. So I want to be in the air so I don't get stunned by him. because he likes to stun, but I also can't be in the air to initiate the QTEs. I have to be on the ground. If I don't, if I'm not on the ground, I can't initiate them, and I could initiate them early too, but I just want to not be on the ground as much as possible, so I don't get stunned, because that wastes time. So, just waiting for him to drop. I can, sometimes if I'm on the ground in time, just before the QTE actually shows up, I can start it before I can see it. But again, requires me to be on the ground at the moment that he's going down for QTE.
I was just getting warmed up.
It's also quicker to brush off your blood off your weapon and get your damage back while in midair. So doing it on the ground gives you a longer animation for it. So it's way better to chain it into a combo or moving in the air. It's way easier and faster that way. We got a guy stuck out of the arena over here. That can happen. Oh, that's nice. There. That was nice. That can happen. That's like worst case scenario. You don't want stuff like that happening. Alright, so I forgot to split here, so whatever. That's nice, but don't really care too much about scores. There is you could attempt to V rank everything. Alright, so we got a bit of a cutscene, we got another transformation coming up for our other character. Sucks that the other two we get are way later in the game, but... Alright, so that's good. Use QTEs as fast as we can. So both our characters, Kagura and Seiya, which is their names, are in what they call they're what they call vampiric. No, baneful. And yeah, they're banefuls. And what that means is that they have a heritage bloodline of demons, and they are in what they call Dare Drive mode. Which is fueled by ecstasy. So, very interesting. Anyways, that's the end of that chapter.
You all okay?
Our platinum. Cool stuff. More plats. But anyways, there's another way to do these runs, and that's to do every fight and get plats by getting V ranks. V ranks are like above the highest score, which is an S rank. Anyways, so our first set of choose our own character order, and we're going to switch to get some upgrades for a few of the characters. So we're going to grab a weapon upgrade. First thing we're grabbing. And then we're going to grab a couple of rings too. So we're going to grab a power ring. And we're going to grab a Fleetfoot ring for movement. And then we're gonna go buy some skills for the character that we just bought the weapon for. So we're gonna grab some moves. So we have no other things to put on. So now we're just gonna equip the weapon and the rings, and then we're good. That takes a little bit of time, but I mean, this is a new game run, so I don't really have any of that stuff set up, so I have to go buy it all. Now, I thought originally that I could buy the drop ring, and that would help, like, unlock stuff, but by the time you get the money to do that, it's just not worth it, because it costs way more money. Like, way much more of the orbs than it's worth by the time it actually makes you enough orbs to do anything else. So it's just way easier to just not worry about that and just get the power ring and the flatfoot ring, which are way cheaper, and you can get them fairly early. So I got them right after chapter 5, so, which is the first time I actually get to open my menu besides going to a goddess statue, which costs a little bit of time as well. Goddess statues are throughout the chapter. There's usually 1 or 2 of them. So anyways, we just have to go around here and kill a bunch of enemies. So we're going to be using this character a lot. She's just by far one of the better characters, personally, just because of her combo style and the fact she deals a lot of single target damage. That's not what I wanted to do. So I don't want to do that charge hit right now because it's really slow, and I can't actually store the hit, which is kind of stupid. Until I get the combo unlock for it later, which I have to buy that upgrade for. I also want to get a better weapon for it at some point too. So I got hit by Stretch Armstrong there. So we're gonna switch to dual weapons. Stretch Armstrong is getting annoying. I should probably go kill him. We're gonna get a transformation soon. And now we have to kill a bunch of these enemies. It's kind of like a 50-50 chance that I'm gonna kill all of the ones that I need to kill. So we're gonna transform here, which is nice. And then it'll make killing these guys hopefully a little bit faster. So I need to kill a number of these gun guys up here, and then any of the guys that are respawning. There is some that infinite respawn, which are up further, but there's a certain number of enemies down here that I need to kill. So there's a lot of abilities I don't have for most of these characters, but thankfully the few starting characters I have, I do. So I'm going to switch characters briefly, just so I don't waste any more of the charge of my transformation for the Berserker. Alright, so we got him low enough that we didn't have to do a second phase. We got him on a 1 cycle in the first phase. So that was a slower animation than I wanted, but it works. So we're gonna get them both really low, and then hopefully do a double QT in a row. Hopefully. So apparently I didn't get him low enough. Should have got him low enough now. So his legs are fucking jumping around. Oh my god. Alright, so I got the QT. I might as well do it now instead of trying to keep fighting this guy. This fight's taking longer than it should because the legs are just not being cooperative. This is one of the longer QTEs that I have to do. Oh, well, I mean, I'm doing a lot of damage, yeah, but you can do a lot of damage by comboing, and like I got the power ring on, which is a viable item that increases damage output, right? So that's one of the main things that's actually making this a little bit more possible. God, these legs are so fucking annoying. Gonna jump around, are you? Okay, so when he comes back out, he should be damaged enough. Alright, I got the QTE. I was just waiting for him to come out, so I just might as well spam the buttons for the QTE. I mean, I don't even have to see it as long as I'm on the ground. I can do it from anywhere, which is nice. So anyways, we just gave that guy a nice ass splitter there. So that took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but that's fine. Okay, well, the chick with the cowboy hat, I mean, well, there's two with cowboy hats, but anyways, the main two characters, Kagura and Seiya, they're Banefuls. They're bikini samurais, if that makes any sense. The two ones dressed in cowboy outfits, they're bikini samurai slayers. And I guess, well, originally their job was to thwart demons and, you know, not have the world go into chaos. But I mean, that's already still happening. So anyways, we're on chapter 9. We're doing chapters out of order, and I'm going the wrong way. But anyways, and there are two sets of sisters, and in the previous games they were actually fighting against each other, but in this game they're trying to cooperate because there isn't going to be much left to fight about if the whole world's gone, basically. The story's a little complex to really explain to people that haven't played any of the previous titles. I mean, the game does a good job of, like, explaining it, the cutscenes and stuff, but I mean, since I'm skipping most of it, it's not going to make a lot of sense. And, basically, there's a, what we thought was a revive of a vampire. But there is, like, she is revived, but she's not the one that's actually causing all this. She's working with a different character that we'll meet later. Again, like we will meet them later, but we would have met them in the cutscene at the start of the game, but we skipped it. So, but anyways, she's also one of the other bloodlines. So the Banefuls and the Vampirics are at war. They don't like each other, but for whatever reason, now a Baneful and a Vampiric are working together to, start a new world. Basically what they want to do. They want to devoid the world of conflict, so no more conflict. Whatever that means for them is not good for us. So, here are sets of sisters, which are Banefuls and Vampirics, are now fighting fighting together instead of against. Yeah, this game looks a little silly, but I mean, it makes fun of itself, so I kind of like the charm that this game has. I just really wish that the other two sisters got their ecstasy early on instead of later in the game, which kind of sucks. So anyways, we're gonna kill this monk, this temple monk here.
He doesn't look as strong as all that, but he's probably got something up his sleeve.
This guy has a lot of health. Normally on New Game Plus he'd be dead by now. Like literally I'd one up to him, just nail him. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I got a transformation which speeds this up though. Really nice. Alright, so QTE, which is nice. Alright, that's another dead ball. Alright, so we skipped the fight, which is nice, because I used that little shortcut that we saw me go down. Yeah, well, I mean, Banefuls are more like demons. I wouldn't say that they're vampires per se. They're like half-bred demons. And the Vampirics are kind of the same thing. Like, they're vampires, and the Banefuls are more like a demon clan. But they've been at war with each other in this series for years. Right, so that's where the original games take place. Is you're playing in the 360 version before this one, the previous title. You were playing as the two Vampirics, which is Seiya and Saki, or Ea and Saki, sorry, and they were they had not met Kagura or Seiya yet, which are from a older part of the series. So anyways, we're in Dubai. But anyways, near the end of the Xbox game, which got a Wii reboot or whatever, in that version, they ended up meeting up with each other and then having a bit of a showdown. And then they had to put the differences aside. I mean, there's a bit of a gap between the first game, like the game before this one and this one here, the second game. And there's been plenty of other versions of this game that were only released in Japan. And this game also used to be called underneath a different series. It started on the PS2, which was just called Zombie Hunter. And then it was called, but even before that it was called something else. I mean, in Japan it was called something else, but for us it was called Zombie Hunter, and then Zombie Hunter 2, which was the second PS2 release that we saw. We didn't see the first one, and I'm looking for this other mole. Perfect. So I have to kill all these guys in this arena. Obviously, it's pretty much the theme of the run. Just kill shit fast. But I don't want to get hit by these moles because they're like shark fins and they just knock me flying, and it's really annoying. I didn't want to target lock those guys. Trying to kill the moles. I don't know why they can do that when they come out of the ground. They just like hit me and it just annoys the crap out of me. So I'm going to switch characters here just so I'm not wasting the transformation. And it lets her heal up a little bit because, again, I drain health when I'm in Berserk. We're going to switch weapons here. Single sword deals way more damage to targets, but it's also a little... it doesn't deal as much AoE damage, right? So... I think by this point we should have our goddess gem, so we could have a revive, which is nice. We're looking for this big sandstorm over here. So that big sandstorm's where we're going for the boss, but we can't go there yet, so we're just gonna skip where the arrow's telling us to go and just go down this way. We're gonna go into this fight here, which is safer to do. and it lets us skip over to the boss after this, instead of going whatever path the game wanted us to go. I don't know. I just never went that way. I just kind of figured out that I could go this way and go to a fight. I was just kind of exploring. And got locked into this fight by mistake, and then realized, shit, man, I can just skip right to the boss because the sandstorm goes down. Well, all the demons of the underworld are coming up, and zombies, you know, you name it, like all that shit. Because the one vampire leader, Carmella, or however her name is pronounced, she's resurrecting the apocalypse to end the world of conflict. So she's basically trying to, like, wipe out humanity and restart it, basically. And in order to do that, she needs these 4 girls to basically be part of that. And obviously they're refusing. And this other boss that shows up, main villain, for this sequel here, which is what I'm playing, is a character that we'll meet later called Avange. And she's a Baneful, not a Vampiric. She's a Baneful. Which is just like Kagura and Saya. Anyways, we're looking for the sandstorm that just dropped. I believe it was this way. I hope it's this way. Look, the arrow's pointing this way too, so it must be it. Anyways, we're gonna go into this big sand pit, fight this scorpion boss.
Scorpion? That's just
Wrong way.
great.
Where is he?
It's hard enough to find her footing as it is. Things got a real warp with action sense.
Oh, he kind of made him stop moving for a bit. That was nice. Our one character is pretty low life, and so these characters don't deal nearly as much damage, which is another reason why having this power jam is so damn useful. As you can see, I'm doing a way more damage with the character with the weapon upgrade and the power gem on, and that's kind of why I'm doing a lot more damage than you would think. Well, I mean, technically, I don't like it. Let's. Okay, I think we killed the boss, so it's fine now. I was getting worried that we were too low life, and then I just popped another transformation, so that's kind of bad, but we're okay, I think. Boss is dead, so it's all good.
Breathe it in, losers.
All right. We're gonna do a buy after Peru instead of before Peru, only because I can't do one right after Los Angeles. And Peru's not that hard. Just so I have more money to spend and less menuing to do. But yeah, since the first game, there was a bit of an outbreak of resurrected demons and spirits and stuff. And, I mean, they thought they put them to rest when they killed Camila, but for whatever reason, she was resurrected, I believe. I mean, I don't know everything about the lore of this game, I just like the games. They're pretty fun. I mean, the fan service stuff is just kind of there. But it had room for potential. It was a pretty good concept for a game design. It's just, it sucks that the other ones were just so terrible. They could have been way better done and with a bigger budget. These are pretty low budget games, and it's nice that Xseed picked it up eventually, like, to do this one. that we could actually have a decent game with pretty good fluid controls. I can't believe that guy blocked that attack. Okay, so that blue gem we picked up will be nice to use later. It's a speed gem. We'll be using it in a couple fights later on.
This will be the result every time.
Alright, so we're fighting a mini boss, which is Quizzical. So this is Quizzical. That was bad. He's never done charge attack like that right off the bat. That's kind of the worst thing I could have him do, actually. Alright, so QTE time. We're going to chop off a wing. And then we're going to chop off the other wing. So we can do back-to-back QTE, which is nice. Normally, the game doesn't want you to do that, but quick enough, the QTE hasn't disappeared from the first time. So we can get a WQTE on that boss before it actually decides to say, oh no, you have to deal more damage. So it just makes that fight go a little bit quicker that way. Now we just gotta mop up the rest of the enemies in this fight. Kind of hard to tell which ones I need to kill. Only the ones that technically spawned. There's a couple more down there, but I don't need those ones because they were already alive before the fight started. So we're gonna get another transformation by the time we get to the boss, which is nice. It's gonna be nice if I store those slashes. Don't want these cops to shoot us with their guns. I don't know if you guys can hear my button smashing, but there's a lot of it going on. So I dodge a lot to get around because it's way quicker
That wasn't representative of my
in general. Alright, so there's going to be a bunch of enemies spawning. I wiped off my blood while in midair because, again, it's much faster. We're just going to barrel through them. There's a goddess statue, but we don't need it. And we're going to do boss. Now to make this a little bit easier, we don't have that, so we're just going to use a speed gem.
Stay sharp. If we let our guard down at all, this thing could squish us flat.
We're going to call out our allies as well, just so we can start racking up some more damage on it. And we should get a transformation very, very soon. Alright, it's cool. So QTE, which is nice. We have the transformation, which will make the next set of phases really, really fast. Alright, so he's D-winged now. We're getting low on life, so we're getting a little at the danger zone. But that's fine. Alright, man. Get some sleep. I gotta get some sleep eventually, too. So I'm gonna do the run on Sunday morning at 4:20, so... But... And then 2 weeks from now, ARPG me, so that'll be a lot of fun, too. Right. That boss is down. Good stuff. Another V rank. I'm pretty happy with those. Appreciate you stopping in there. He who is me. Seeing you around, and it's nice to see you as well. Nice to see anybody actually and talk to anybody, so. Alright, so I gotta remember I'm buying do that now. So we're getting another weapon upgrade. Buying more skills. Buying the super quick draw finally. Buying this. I gotta remember to not do that. We're buying low slash again, and we're gonna buy up slash, and we're gonna buy shadow killer, and we're gonna learn swift thrust and dash slice. Low slash level 3. Upgrade, up slash. We're gonna learn this. And I don't have enough for that. Erase this will be nice. Not really anything else we can buy right now. So let's see if we can do some more upgrades. Yep, we can do another upgrade here. Hailstorm. Flame splitter. Low slash. And twin moon. Oh yeah, we need to equip weapon. Okay, we're good. Alright, time for Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is a bit of an interesting chapter. We get to fight 2 bosses at the end of the chapter. So anyways, we're going to deal a bit more damage with the upgraded weapons. Also extends my reach just a little bit as well. It's from my observations. But I also have access to more combos as well, which helps with the damage output, because the longer the combo chain, the more damage. But also, just in general, the increased damage is really, really nice. Might be able to route it out with like different characters for different optimizations, but I mean, the way I'm doing it now seems like the best. Alright, so we got down on the ground before the KTD showed up, which was good timing. So we gotta chop off his other armor as well still.
Let me show you what I'm made of.
Okay, I thought I got stunned, but I actually got the transformation, which is kind of nice, because that'll speed up this a little bit more. Okay, I didn't want to fly up in the air, but I mean, I held the button down, so that's what happened. If I hold the combo button down, it's not what I want. But that is a really cool airborne attack. But that knocked him down, which is nice. Game's got a lot of blood in it.
Next time,
Alright, so we're gonna hopefully perform a little tiny skip, but it's actually a lot more finicky than it may appear. But we're gonna try to get wedged in a wall. And we did it. Alright, cool. But anyways, that skips a small, like, 6-second fight. Now, the reason why we're playing this character is because we want to preserve our Berserk for the actual boss fight and keep her full health. Just because we'll need that for the actual 2 bosses at the end of the chapter here. So we're just using the second strongest base character without any upgrades, specifically for comboing, just because she can hit more than one target fairly easy, and she's pretty fast at killing stuff as well. I just don't like how sometimes she just flings enemies around, though. That's the only downside, is she just tosses enemies around a lot more. So did the fist, like any of the other 2 characters, because these fist weapons also toss them around a lot. Did not target lock those guys. Those are guys, so we're skipping. I'm not sure why those attacks didn't kill them, but... No, what the hell are you doing? I didn't want to do backstep attacks. What the hell was that? These guys have a lot of health. It's weird. Alright, so we got another transformation, but
it really feels like a vacation.
Alright, we made it over. It's all
It'll be
fine.
fun for you all cooped up. You haven't gone rusty on us, have you?
Can we get the skip? No. Alright, so we gotta wait for this cutscene to finish. Sometimes we can initiate the, the dialogue to finish. Sometimes we can initiate a cutscene right away, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. Depends on how fast I get here.
Yeah, me too.
So, means I did bad, but we got the cutscene. We're gonna immediately super with her.
No.
Try to get the target lock that I wanted. Oh good, we're gonna get both of them wound up together. That's perfect.
Seem like they're too keen on teaming up for you too, Chris. Why don't you summon them this time?
Alright, so we got both WQTs ready to go, so we can do them one right after another. Hopefully we get the good cutscene here, and that's the panty shot, which we're going to get, so that's great. I didn't get the panty shot last time I ran this game, which is kind of sad. So anyways, another QTE right off the bat. Sometimes the touchpad is a little non-responsive. Alright, and that's that boss fight.
Next time I'll do much better. I just received a report.
So anyways, like I said, we had to do our buying there because we're going to immediately go into the next chapter. Pretty sure we immediately do. But other than that, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to buy anyways right away. Try to do larger shopping trips than just single ones, just so I'm not wasting more time menuing. Don't really need to do any more shopping, so well, at least not for another chapter or two. After chapter 13, we can do more shopping. That'll be the last leg of the game. Alright, so we're going to do a quick reset. We don't want the rest of our party members out at the start of this chapter, because we're going to do a fairly large skip. I say fairly large. I mean, it's not a complicated skip to do, but it skips all like 45 minutes worth of fighting in mini bosses. So, I mean, that's a pretty big chunk of this level actually skipped. It's a pretty long level otherwise. So I love the fact that I can skip 45 minutes of it. I spent a long time trying to figure out exactly if I could do it or not. And figured out that you can just use your height gain from your transformations with your air dashes. And not hit the fight trigger, hopefully. Fight trigger is like near the closer to the center.
Let's finish this.
Alright, I have to do one more now. Okay, that didn't work. I have to make sure I get the speed. I fell short. I missed. It's really, really hard to aim this. Especially because I keep running.
I'm here to save you.
Oh my god, I fell down. Bad. I don't think I had this much trouble with this before. Okay, well we're back up. This is not as easy as it seems. Alright, we made it. Alright, we're good. Alright, so now we gotta do 2 fights up here to advance the next area. Roll into the next room anyways, just 2 fights. Thankfully all the fights are separated each floor, so I mean I don't have to waste all my time doing every fight on the previous floors. I can just try to skip up. If I can skip by them all. There's some pretty finicky barrier skips in this game. You could skip quite a few barriers that I just choose not to because it's generally faster to just do the combat. Only because they take a lot of time to do and can be very easily messed up after wasting the time to get airborne. You have to get quite a bit of height to skip some of the barriers that you can do, especially earlier in the game. And it's just way easier, especially on New Game Plus, to just do the fights. But, I mean, they might be a little bit more viable if there's a consistent way to do them for New Game, at least. But, I'm getting destroyed in this room with that character, so we're gonna switch. Okay, we got a QTE, which is nice. Okay, Cyclopses, please stop. Oh, this room is really, really annoying. Only because of these bloody Cyclopses are they freaking annoying, because the laser just fucking knocks me around. It does a crap ton of damage. If it wasn't for that, I'd have no problem.
Ah, damn it. I had a feeling.
If it wasn't for that, this would be no problem. Still thinks I'm in that fight on the lower floor. Still does, but I'm not down there. Not gonna do 45 minutes of fights.
These things are fast as hell.
Alright, so these little, like, wormy thingies, we don't want them to go in the statues. It just makes them really hard to kill. But I can't help it sometimes, it just happens. We got that character that can go around and hit multiple things at once. We're just going to spam this as they spawn. makes cleaning up this room a little bit easier.
Ready to rock. I'm so sorry, sis. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Alright, not too bad. This is probably the second longest chapter, next to the chapter I'm doing after this. Oh shit, did I miss one? I really did. And now some of them got in statues. It's kind of not what I wanted. That wasn't too bad, they all were running this way. So even though I missed a couple or like that, it's fine. Alright, so now we get to meet the character that we skipped the cutscene on, aka Yvange. And this is another timed boss fight. Oh my god, stop air dashing. Wow, this boss is being a real bitch right now. Trying to keep me juggled in the air. That's like the worst thing, is that she can juggle you and it's just not fun.
What's next time? Oh, I'm gonna wipe the floor with them. Fascinating.
But yeah, you can see how many fights I've skipped is quite a bit, so. Just imagine every one of those fights costing at least like 10 minutes apiece, so. In around 10 minutes each for one of those rooms that I skipped, or fights in general. So, really good chunk skipped on that chapter. Saves quite a bit of time. Yeah. So glad. Loading time could take some time in this. PC version's crash prone, so I generally would not ever suggest playing on the PC version, just because it could crash in any ending screen or loading screen. Especially when these cutscenes pop up, it's known to crash just randomly during those parts of the game, anyways. Ending chapter and FMVs, and also loading. I don't know why this does. I've seen it happen many times. But I mean, other than that, there's not too many differences besides PC loading a little bit faster if it's trying to cooperate, but I don't think the PC port is that well optimized either. Generally, most low-budget games that are ported aren't. This does not include indie titles, so it's talking about like actual game, or like low-budget games. Which, I mean, XC doesn't necessarily put that much money into their titles. I mean, their XC titles, they're mostly fan service. But anyways, we got the transformation for the other two characters that we have, which is, I mean, if you didn't know that, now you do. Okay, that was a pretty good clear. That was a pretty good clear. Now we get to play elevator boss. Elevator boss is kind of annoying. So basically I have to climb this tower to get to the rooftop to meet a boss. But to get there I have to go through all these elevators, and the elevators have a lot of doors open at random time, at different times, sorry, not random, but different times. And it kind of sucks because I can skip a floor or two and save time, or I could lose time and gain a floor. I can not save those ones. And one of the floors I can gain is a bonus floor, and I don't want that. There's, I think, 2 bonus floors. And the bonus floors that I don't want are the ones that require me to fight enemies. But the ones that I do want are the ones that are just nothing, and then I can just skip up. They're literally like item rooms, basically. Or save rooms, or whatever. Those are the rooms I want on the floors, and there's supposedly a pattern, but I've tried the same pattern over and over again, and have not had the same results for whatever reason.
Just one of those days.
But generally I'll just like start with one door and then immediately go in the next available one. Supposedly some sort of pattern or something that I need to try to remember, but there's so many combinations, it's a bit of a pain to try to do that. So let's hope that we don't have to deal with that. Also, we have our other character that still have some berserk juice going on with the ecstasy here, so we'll just switch to her and clean up some of these guys a little bit faster. This ecstasy tends to make the fights a little bit easier with being able to kill guys in a few blows. Alright, she's normal now, so we can switch out of her, actually. Really? That didn't break your shield? Well, that's really annoying.
Just one of those days.
So let's hope we skip a floor. My PB for New Game Plus has me skip an elevator. Yay, we skipped a floor. That's perfect. Alright, let's hope we get another one. Again, I don't know. It's just really odd when it happens. Like, it followed the same patterns before when it happens. And for whatever reason, I think the bonus war just kind of happens. Again, not too sure. Haven't necessarily messed around with that particular area that much. So this is a floor I didn't want to get. It has a mini boss that I have to kill. But thankfully, I can transform on demand now, which is nice. Means I'm not wasting my Berserker if it triggers too soon. I can use it whenever I want, and also means my health drains whenever I want it to drain. Well, in Berserk mode. I just wish I had my other special, or super. That way, I could fan of knives myself with like a sort of shield of some sort. I'm missing a guy. Missing a Tazbot there. He's dead. Yep, you're gonna drive the game price down for sure. With all of your fan service and big tits and all that shit. And why else would anybody buy this game? Well, I bought it because I'm familiar with the game, and well, the series anyways. And I actually enjoyed the potential that this game could be good, and from what I've heard and seen, it definitely pays off. Wasn't really that expensive of a game either. It was actually pretty nice that it was fairly cheap. So there's Mudmen on here, which are these wee guys that we can't kill without using special attacks, which is kind of annoying, so I'm switching to a character that can usually generate special way faster. Oh my god. Really, that didn't destroy you. So, yeah, they're finally killed them. Mudmen are kind of really annoying because I'm just checking over here to see if there's a guy that flew over here, and there isn't. Sometimes these imps, they fly around and get caught on things. And we really don't want them to fly around the stage and get behind stuff we don't know where the hell they are. But yeah, that Mudman took a little longer than I wanted him to take. Didn't have super or anything, so kinda why that happened. Didn't realize Seiya's super didn't deal nearly enough damage. But yeah, that instance right there was me storing a charge slash, which is super, super useful. So we're gonna kill more Tazbots. I haven't done my torso. Alright, so we should almost be at the top, hopefully. Should almost be there. Almost. Not quite. So another instance of one of these floors. Again, gotta remember to wipe off my weapons. They're building up a bit too much blood. I want optimal damage, so I don't want them too covered in blood.
Damn it. I had a feeling.
Should almost be there. Come on. I hate this level. It's like one of the longer levels. It is the longest level, I believe. Alright, we're at the top. While finding Dorian. We're just gonna go right over here, fight the mini-boss. Alright, so we got cutscene, or QT, sorry. I don't know how you call them cutscenes, but they are. Gonna quickly kill the dog, and the elevator opens up, which is what we want. We don't want to finish the fight. Apparently the trigger is the elevator opening up after the boss is dead. That's nice. But at least we skipped a fight. That was the most important part, us skipping a fight. So onwards to chapter 13. We have a fight at like short boss fight. Could be a little bit annoying. Hopefully I have the gem drops that I need for the fight, which is also another RNG thing. And the stage really lags at the start because it decides to load like every enemy on the screen at the same time. Alright, so we're gonna go in here, pop the power gem. And that's, we don't have a speed gem. Okay. So this boss can deal a lot of damage to me really quickly, but we're going to try to deal enough damage to her with that power gem, which, I mean, we got a fair amount of damage done to her. She's stunning me, which is not nice. This is like the worst RNG. Wow. Wow, she's really being annoying. Alright. That was really annoying. She was just not letting me, you know, kill her quickly. Alright, so we have a little cutscene with her. Chapter's over though.
We finally know the location of the puppet.
Yeah, so we got a location of the last section of the game, which is the last chapter. I mean, I'd say last chapter, but it's last actual level. That actually is, I mean, it's a good length, but it's actually a fun one. And then we get a little boss gauntlet at the end. So we'll get to see a lot of the so-called mini bosses and main bosses return. This will be our last shopping trip of the game now. So we're gonna go over here, weapon. You have one other weapon to grab for her, I believe. This is the last one. We're gonna grab a skill for her as well. We're gonna grab that one skill that costs a lot. I just have enough to grab it. Alright, cool. We'll switch weapons here. I believe she has one more weapon unlocked, but we don't need to worry about that. Hope everyone's doing pretty well tonight. Pretty happy this is going pretty well. I mean, we're saving a lot of time because now we're skipping cutscenes. But anyways, we're down with some dialogue here. We'll know we did good if we can finish this bit before she finishes the dialogue.
Should be a little calmer now. See? We're good to go. Catch you later, Anna.
Okay, so I didn't really have to wait around for the dialogue, which is nice, but I didn't finish the fight faster than I normally do. Again, New Game Plus would make that fight super easy. I'd be able to kill it in like complete that whole section in like one full combo. But can't necessarily do that because don't have all the upgrades and stuff that I normally would have at this point, especially the more important rings as well. So this room is kind of annoying. It's probably the only annoying room I've ever had to do in this game. Okay, so we just got like a Ben of the dodge there. Alright, so basically, we have to kill all the enemies in this room that spawn, trigger all these fights in here in order to get this door to unlock up above us. And if any enemies fall down from above when we get up into the rafters and stuff like that, then we'll have to come back down here, kill them, and then go back up, which is kind of annoying. And I got hit by Stretch Armstrongs here, so I'm going to deal with them right away. And then the Gatling gun guys also want to deal with right away. Stretch Armstrong, I don't really want you to do that. I'm saving my transformation only because it makes, like, it'll make some of the later fights a little bit easier. And I want to save the fight, like, save it if I can. So I'll switch to different characters. Just because it's way easier that way. Oh my god. Stretch Armstrong. No. Don't do that. So you notice that my weapon's pretty full of blood now. So I'm dealing significantly less damage, so I just wiped it off. Okay, so we got a transformation from her now, which is nice, which is kind of why I did that, so I can deal with the guys up in the raptor in a second. And there's also a Cyclops up here, so that's another reason why. I don't really care if any guys are down there right now. I'm gonna quickly clean up these guys. Kind of get these all cleaned up and get most of these guys spawned. So I didn't get all the guys. Oh my god, I'm getting stuck. Just making sure I got all the guys. I gotta go back up now. Oh, I'm missing a guy. Where is he? Oh, he's behind here. So another instance of enemies getting stuck on shit, which is kind of annoying. Alright, now it's unlocked. Takes about the same amount of time to go one way versus the other way, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we still got her transformation, which is nice. Again, she's our highest damage dealer, because that's where I put all my upgrades. It's not really useful to spread upgrades across the characters, just because you don't want to be switching to different characters unless there's a particular reason to do so. And the other sets of characters are a little bit slower when it comes to combat, but they all have their strengths and weaknesses. This character just happens to be faster. And when I put the Flatfoot ring and the power ring on her, immediately becomes noticeable. Okay, I don't want to. There's a case of that Medusa head backing up away from me because I was attacking her head on. So again, a pretty good combo going on here. Now normally I would put like a bloodstain ring on her, but those are pretty expensive. And we're going left instead of right, so we're going to go counter. We're going clockwise, aren't we? Yeah. We're going clockwise only because the room we're trying to get to advance is this direction, and it's way faster, and we get caught into less fights. So there's one more fight, which is this one, and then a Cyclops shows up, and we want to like bait him to stay either where he is or like kill him really quickly so that we don't have to deal with him dragging us into an extra fight that we don't want to do. Oh my god, Stretch Armstrongs, can you stop? Okay, so in order to make my get up time faster, I got knocked down. I'm just going to transform early. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it will allow me to kill the Cyclops really quick. And clear this hallway pretty quick as well. So we got a bit of a boss here.
This will
That's
be
done.
the result every time. Calm down. There has
I gotta
to
wait
be
for
a
this
way
dialogue to
stop it.
finish.
We're out of range.
Alright, cool. That was really, really quick. Probably the quickest I've done that. So we have more Cyclopses. Interesting thing that I can do in this stage is kind of like air dash into everything on and off the stage. Just like push them off. It's actually way easier to push some of these guys off. Just push them off into this end of the stage there, of the wall, and they'll fall down to their death. A little bit easier than trying to kill them all. Push the werewolves and stuff. Get rid of them that way. Keep air dashing them out of the arena. It's kind of interesting that I can do that. I can't really do that to the mole though, it looks like. I've never actually tried to air dash the mole. Just figured I'd give it a shot. So we're doing some lock-on spamming there, and what it does is it makes all of our shots target lock. Instead of going to one target, or whatever one's in front of me, whatever direction I'm facing, it just automatically lets me like turret mode everything with auto lock. So it's big easily makes me an aimbot, which is nice. So we're gonna special up now again. Make some of this gauntlet go by a little bit quicker. Some more aimbotting. Some golems here to deal with. We're gonna hopefully down both. Alright, so we're gonna get 2 QTEs in a row on both of them, and hopefully just keep doing that, only because it just makes this a lot quicker. Dual QTs is just way faster. It just sucks that you have to get 2 QTs on both these guys in order to kill them. We're just spinning around and just like auto-locking things. That's what you do, right? Oh my gosh. Puppy is just being really, really evil. So we're gonna cut Frankerzy's tail off. And put him down. Sorry, doggy. I wouldn't have to if you weren't undead. Okay, so we knocked the other... Oh, no, we didn't. I don't think we can knock this one off. Oh, yeah, we can. Okay. Some enemies I just can't knock off, and some I can, so... going through this gauntlet here. So this is the last major section of the gauntlet. We got to fight the two sisters again, zombie sisters. Now we gotta kill the other sister as quickly as we can. Alright, so we got both QTs, which is nice. We can just do them one right after another. So this is like the fastest way to do this. Looks like we're gonna get the other panty shot as well, which is nice. There we go. Alright, that's done. Alright. Last leg of the game. You won't have enough energy to do a second run of this before the marathon Sunday morning, but I won't go to bed right away. I'll still be up for a little bit, so I'll switch off to something else afterwards. Won't be a speedrun though. Gonna wind down for the rest of the night. Anyway, so we got a boss at the end here to deal with. Don't have a rapid gem, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks, but hopefully deal enough. Boss just stops knocking me around. I should be fine, but being a real pain in the ass right now. Can you stop? I can't believe that this boss knocks me up so many times. I don't like that she air juggles me so much. Alright.
That sucked. Gotta do.
Yeah, my seat rating sucked, I know. It was terrible because she kept juggling me. Fine though. Almost done. Yeah, so we kind of like, without cutscenes, you're saving almost an hour on New Game Run, even though it's not clearly optimized enough. But it is something different than doing New Game Plus. Game Plus is fucking a lot faster. Like an hour and 7 minutes, so. Alright, so.
First you're not gonna kill us, now you are. Make up your damn mind. When did we ever say we were gonna be witnesses in the first place? What you propose was throw the entire world into chaos. For what? Painful, vampiric, it makes no difference. All that matters now is killing you.
Can you stop doing that? Alright. Fucking die again. How do you like it to die a second time? Even after your transformation. So, got time coming up now. Alright, that's new game. Onechanbara. Not too bad. Much better than doing it with cutscenes, that's for sure. Yeah, so